not going to do this again. Can you guys hear me? Can someone give me a thumbs up? Perfect. Thank you, Wayne. All right. I think I will have, okay, the internet issue is fixed, and YouTube said they're going to be, someone answered me on the creator side on an email and said that it'll be put back up. I also have it downloaded as well, so I'm going to put it on YouTube, but we're not going to be messing with YouTube for very much longer. I just didn't have a lot of time to get the Rumble account set up, but I think Rumble's where we need to go, unfortunately. So what I would like to do, what's up, Kelly? What I would like to do is just jump right back into it. And what we're going to do is start back over with Harpole. Okay. So 1 second. All right. First thing is first. So let's go through. I guess it's not backed up yet. Okay. I just posted on my X about this guy right here. He is definitely one of the military looking guys. They're all wearing Grunt. I think it's Grunt Style. I think that's that company. I mean, that anybody can buy it. It's not like it makes you something or not. But the video I just posted on X shows everything about him. It looks like it hasn't synced up here just yet. But I was essentially looking for him to begin with because he is right here directing traffic. And he'd always struck me as odd to begin with because of this reason alone. I didn't realize this was him, but he is here with this guy here, and they are looking in the grass for things. Okay. They're not looking for shell casings. They're not looking for a weapon, a gun. They're looking for small pieces of shrapnel, fragmented stuff that blew off of Charlie at the moment of detonation. Okay. I've never figured out who this guy is with this camera here as well, but I would suspect that Turning Point USA had multiple angles of camera where they could review it really, really quick, okay, before the cavalry arrives to determine where things might have landed or flown off. I believe that's why we see this officer in the red hat. I've just called him Red Hat Officer, who's running the show, essentially, point things out for where to people to pick up. He's this guy right here who is talking to Blake Hariff, one of these security guys. So I believe they had this available for review to have multiple eyes or have it being recorded from multiple angles to be able to coordinate where to search really, really quickly. And look, we saw it. I mean, that's why this red hat officer points to Blake to tell him where to get the team to go clean up. We're not going to get into that tonight, but we'll definitely go through it again. But here he is. Do I not bring it back? No. Right here. And it's always been strange to me because everyone else is happy, excited, wanting a hat. He's just very non-excited. He's not excited. So this is where he was posted up on the flank, and I would like to know who he is because he's got stuff going on. I wish that video would back up. It's on my Twitter. I think he's part of the op. He's definitely in on it. There's no reason. Remember, folks, we've got an active shooter. Even though this old guy just walked through there, crazy old man George Zinn, without a weapon, screaming he did it. I mean, everyone, their safety is the least of their concerns. Okay, like literally, it's just bizarre. This guy right here, I just saw this. I want to know who this chubby bunny is right here. He's like a chubbier version of Philip. Philip is right here in the white hat, Mr. 1776, puts the mic on Charlie. This guy in the black shirt, chubby bunny, is working on the speakers big time. Okay, here they are lowered down. Okay, where does this guy go? Chubby bunny. Does he go to the Sprinter van? Is that where he's at? Because look, Philip is in communication with someone, okay? And I want to know who that is. Who is Philip talking to? I would be willing to bet that Philip is talking to Chubby Bunny. And I would think, because we can see through to where the van was. This isn't a good one, a good video. I've just pulled it up because I can reference it. But actually, it's not a good. Yeah, okay. The van is back here. And I've always tried to, I want to see like someone moving in there. I don't have anything yet, but I believe they had some sort of other command center, or like where there was other computers, other technology somewhere back here in the back, but I just don't know where he went. Luckily, when we get the UVU security camera footage from the Hall of Flags, we'll be able to see everything. Can you imagine that? When we're able to see that tunnel video, do you realize the trove of gold that will be uncovered? I want you all to imagine the magnificent, super fragicedulous, expialidocious Mikey McCoy coming back to the Hall of Flags. I want you to imagine Brian Harpole and Butch Hibbs and some other people all loitering, hanging out with the audio guy. What's up with that? Why is Brian Harpole so engaged with the audio team? What's he doing? What are they all looking at? Here's Chubby Bunny right here. Here's Philip. Here's Terrell, SD card, Farnsworth. Another AV guy, AV gal. Got some, I guess, fans of audio visual AV equipment. I don't know. They're hanging out here. They're waiting for the show. I know Christian ultimately goes somewhere else and then he comes back here. And then of course we've got old Santa Claus 47 hanging out right here. What's Butch Hibbs doing, y'all? Literally, what is Butch Hibbs? Grandpa from Heber, what are you doing hanging out over here early and doing all, I mean, and then you're back in the back. Like, what is this? Like, this is just weird to me. Okay. And I understand there's a crowd. Okay. I get that. But this over here, it just seems that, well, it just seems that they're all anxiously awaiting the green is go, commence the countdown, T-minus, whatever. That's what it seems like. Okay. It just seems that there is so much importance with all of this, or this computer with, he's got a vision thing here. There's more to it. There's more to it, but it's all going to be on that camera from the Hall of Flags. So anyways, back to Brian Harpole. So again, we've got the SUV rolling out. It stops, the door opens, the door shuts, and everything is shut up. Okay. Everything is shut on this side. The SUV pulls up, stops. They are handing off a bag to Chrissy, the mint girl. Okay. I can show you that. The door then slams shut and they are off to the races. Okay. So at this moment right here, I can tell you that the SUV is secured. Okay. Absolutely. All doors are shut. How does Charlie get brought in? Goes in head first and then feet.
Frank's there because Frank's hurting, you know, and it's like, it's one of those things where you have dead kids on calls and you're not supposed to let the crime scene be contaminated, but I'm not going to deny a parent the ability to come in and say goodbye to their child. And Frank's many times said that Charlie felt like he was his son. I'm not going to deny him that. All this is running. And so we get in. Charlie was a big man, long. We kind of laugh about it now, but we get him in, and but the door's not going to close. We know that. And I just say, go. And we didn't even attempt to close it. I told Justin, go, go, go. So he takes off. Dan's already got the route done. We know that because we've done it. And so we take off in direct action. We get out onto the main road, and we're in a slick SUV, no lights, sirens. And so we're breaking our own intersections. We're cutting our own.
That always has struck me as odd. I'm just going to kind of chime in here about the fact that Dan knows the route. He's done it. We've done it. I mean, is there protocol? I know no one's asked this, or at least Sean Ryan didn't, because that would require a competent interview. But has the protocol been at all of these past events for Integrity Security Solutions, Brian Harpole, Dan Flood, who's Chief Security, Turning Point USA, is their protocol to exfil to be their little one-man army or without ambulances or anything? I'd like to know that. Like, do they plan their high-speed getaways at every, and I know they're not going to answer it honestly if we ask them that, but I'd be curious to know if there were ambulances and other measures of first aid or emergency medicine set up. Because it's just odd to me that, number one, he puts it in here, he says it because he wants it to seem normalized in the sense that they were just following protocol and they planned for it, you know, but it's actually the opposite. I mean, it's just super suspect. I'd be curious to know that.
Traffic, we're doing everything ourselves. Justin's driving. I mean, he's trained driver. I mean, that's what our guys go to driving school for, just for that. It's expensive. It costs a lot, but it's a need. And it paid off because he drove it like a champion.
No, Brian, it didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. God, fucking asshole. It paid off.
Hands up in there, calling out right lefts. Well, this is next turn, 20 meters, 200 meters left. So he knows exactly where he's going. Rick and I are in the back. This is where it gets not funny, but you look back on it now. Rick pulls Charlie across, and then I'm working off my kit. And you always, when you build a kit out like that, you build it to where the stuff you need the soonest or most important is on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. And so all the bleed control is right here in front. So I'm just working out of the kit right there. And so I'm just, packing, pressure, repack. It gets saturated, take it out. You just keep packing on top of it. The problem is we're going down the road, and Charlie's so tall that his left leg is down in the door, and the door won't close. And so I'm on my knees with the door open with my butt hanging out of the side, and I'm on my knees doing the medical, and Justin's driving,
Okay, so I know I said this was about the time that everything, I think, got cut off. So what he just described is a flat out lie, because Charlie, 6'4", goes in head first. So Charlie's head is going to be behind the driver. Okay, we saw him going in. His feet would have been on the passenger side. Okay. So the feet are keeping the passenger back door, what he's describing, as open. But he's also describing the fact that he's working on Charlie. There's no way that he's working on Charlie's neck with his head behind the driver and somehow hanging out by the feet. Okay. I don't know if this has ever been caught, but that's not possible. Okay. What he's describing.
Going 60, 80, 100.
I'll play it back.
Open with my butt hanging. Problem is we're going down the road, and Charlie's so tall that his left leg is down in the door, and the door won't close. And so I'm on my knees with the door open with my butt hanging out of the side, and I'm on my knees doing the medical, and Justin's driving, we're going 60, 80, 100. And Rick has me to do the medical on.
Y'all, what the hell? Can y'all literally picture this? What he's describing does not make a bit of fucking sense.
Road, and Charlie's so tall that his left leg is down in the door, and the door won't close. And so I'm on my knees with the door open with my butt hanging out of the side, and I'm on my knees doing the medical.
That is literally a bald-faced lie, and it makes no sense.
And Justin's driving, we're going 60, 80, 100. And Rick has me across the kit in my shirt so that I can use both hands to do the medical one.
Okay. I'm going to make a point, and it's going to be the big point here in a few moments, but I want you all to remember what he just described. He is describing someone holding him back in the vehicle. What he just described, there's under zero circumstances what he just described is possible for someone doing first aid. And I'll go ahead and say it. I'll leave a little, or I'll go ahead and kind of put a little prelude out there to it. He is describing someone trying to get out of the vehicle.
And
so you don't fall out of the fucking car.
So I don't fall out. And I just look at him, and I don't need to say, you got me. He's got me. I know he's got me. Rick's a brother. He's got the tattoo. And so I was like, he's got me.
He's got me.
And so I'm just working medical. And Frank's praying out loud. Rick's praying out loud.
Does he have a pulse at this point?
So
there's no way.
In a situation like that, I'm not going to
notice how difficult it is to.
I didn't know if somebody else had one or
no. And so I have SpO2 monitor there. I've got all the stuff for it. I could have put it on, but it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrelevant to treating that wound,
mm-hmm.
right? And so I've got to stop that bleeding. That's my primary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether he had a pulse, then it's unknown. The body's an amazing thing that can do things even when it's technically, destroyed. And so my concern is bleed control. And so I'm just, Rick's got me, Justin's driving, world's coming by. I'm working, I end up putting about 36 feet of dressing in him. And then 4 4x4s and then 2 hemostatic 4x4s. And
if you go and ask anyone that does emergency medicine if that's possible within the short time frame with everything he's describing, 36 feet, I haven't found a single person that said
and then just pressuring the whole time. So you're
that's
adding
pressure
as much as you can get, pressure, adding pressure. And so we are heading to the hospital. It's a known. We're heading there, breaking intersections. We picked up a tail from PD somewhere along the way. And I know some audio came out about that. And I think they thought it was a secondary person.
The key thing to pick up on this, he is tuned in to the police dispatch. He's done his homework. Okay. Harpole knows every single thing that was said over the radio that day. Okay. He just let that little thing slip. He knows what everyone was talking about over the radio, over comms with PD and sheriff. So he already knows what was seen and what was reported in.
And had been shot, but we didn't know if it was an active shooter. Everybody that says, oh, you should have treated him there and not moved him, stopped the bleeding. I'm like, well, yeah, I know. Same way. I was like, man, no, that's not, medicine doesn't happen on the X. Nothing happens. Somebody shoots at you, you get off the X, right? And so, and we didn't have cover.
Just for anybody that's listening, that is rule number 1, law enforcement, military, any security, anything, get off the X.
Yeah. And
more rounds are coming in.
Yeah. And so, we get to the hospital. Actually, we make it to the hospital through the traffic. We've got full wound pack in. We get out and we carry in to the door. Well, once we make it into the door, we see a gurney on the left-hand side.
Okay. Now, I'm going to play this.
212, everybody get off the radio. I've got a black SUV northbound on Wolverine Way. Passenger door is open. Someone's trying to hang out of it.
That broadcast right there was less than 4 minutes after the Big Bang. So they had already gotten Charlie Kirk from the scene of the incident into the SUV and were flying up the highway with someone hanging out of the car. So here is a bit of confusion, our first little bit of confusion that enters. This is where they think they have another victim because of someone else hanging out of the car.
I assume this is possibly another victim. They've got one hanging out of the car.
So there was some confusion there. Hey, maybe we have a second victim. Why are people hanging out of the car? I understand Charlie's a big guy. I do understand that. And I understand when you're initially putting him in, it's going to be difficult to get a 6'4" Charlie Kirk into the car sideways. But you would think as they're flying up the highway, at some point somebody would bend his legs and close the door. I would think. But we have yet another broadcast discussing someone hanging out of the car. This is a third broadcast that someone's hanging out of the car.
Copy 2530. In a vehicle 50 South 1200 Weston, or they have one hanging out of the car. We're not sure if they're a patient or if they're just trying to get out of the area.
So this is a little bit of confusion again, that this could be somebody fleeing the scene of the crime. You might have somebody fleeing the scene of the crime. And so you can understand where the police are in this situation, saying, well, do we pull this car over? Are we slowing it down on the way to the hospital when someone might have been wounded? Or do we let him go, assuming it's the victim? Or do we pull it over, assuming it might be someone trying to get out?
Okay. So here it is. I am under the impression, and I know that I'm right, that at UVU that day, there wasn't a gun shot and there wasn't a bullet that struck Charlie. There wasn't. But there had to be a bullet be found. And it is extremely, extremely, extremely dark to think about this, but given what you see happen around him with literally these wolves in friendly sheep clothing, it's not surprising one bit. There is absolutely zero reason at this moment right here, as that door shuts and drives off, the SUV is secure. There is zero reason for a door to reopen other than the fact of someone trying to escape. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Charlie was trying to get out of the SUV because they were trying to kill him in the SUV. I do not believe that the wound we saw was a fatal lights out wound. I don't. I believe he was rendered unconscious by some form or fashion, possibly electrocution, possibly like something. There was 3 things happening. Something making him seize up, the explosion happening under his shirt, and the sound being played out over the speakers. Okay. I do not believe that he was dead. Lights out dead. Why do I think that? Okay. I posted just a few weeks ago, and I know not all gunshots are created equal, but just the other week, I posted a video from Australia. And I'm talking about a gunshot to the neck that went through and through, esophagus, everything. He gets to the hospital. He's still awake, alive. The only bad thing was they had to secure his airway by performing like a tracheotomy type of procedure where they just go into the airway, the esophagus, so you can breathe instead of, I mean, they couldn't even intubate, I think, because of all of the trauma from the gunshot. The guy left the hospital 6 days later. Now, I know you're not, you can't be like, oh my gosh, you can't compare this, this and this. I'm letting you know right now what we saw happen with under the shirt, it moving, and then all of a sudden the wound appear and it starts to bleed. That was not a fatal wound, y'all. Okay. And there wasn't a bullet to do that. This is why it gets so deep and dark when you really dive into Brian Harpole's story. Here.
I'm fine. I'll call you when I get a chance. And so I started asking for check-ins for the guys that were still at the scene. Like, hey, everybody okay? Read me in. We have other victims. What's going on? And they got retasked to the medical examiner's office. One, for those people saying,
there's been a lot of rumors going around about there was no autopsy, none of that. Was there an autopsy?
There was, and I can speak to that. Personally, I can speak to that. One, for those people saying that, do a FOIA. Do a FOIA to the medical examiner's office to Utah County.
The level of arrogance in this right here, this screams, I know y'all are going to find a bullet. Do it. I dare you. I dare you to do a FOIA, you're going to find a bullet, and I'm going to get to spike the football because he was shot. This level of arrogance is disgusting.
Get off your lazy ass and do it for you. They may not give you the autopsy information right now, but they'll certainly tell you, yeah, there's an autopsy. That's the first one. The second one was the OR doc. Your question earlier about a pulse. We'll get back to that. And so they ended up working him in the room, and they ended up taking him to the OR because they got a pulse.
They did get a pulse?
They did get a pulse. But Charlie was a healthy man. He was very cognizant of his health, and he was a strong guy. And
Dave had a pulse?
But
hold on. How long had it been since the shot to the hospital?
I have no idea. But you can.
That is a jugular shot.
You can be dead. A central nervous system. You got a strong heart, right? And that's what the OR doc told me.
Okay.
He said that's what it was. And so,
holy shit.
Yeah. And so I have no way of. I'm not a doctor. I just know what he told me. And so we go to that, and I'm sorry. What was your question again?
We were talking about the autopsy.
Oh, the autopsy. And so once they came down and said he didn't make it, and he talked about He said, if he'd have been shot in the OR, I wouldn't have been able to save him. And I was like, I mean, he's just kind of confirming things that I already knew. And so, and so I don't know how long, well, I don't know what the timeline was, but I want to say, I can't remember who it was, but I knew, I was like, we're not going to turn this into some JFK. I specifically
What a
asked
bizarre,
one of the
bizarre thing to
doctors,
say.
I don't know. I remember what she looked like, dark skin, like dark hair, probably 35, 40 years old. I said, how long until we can get an autopsy? And I remember her saying a day and a half. And I was like, oh. And so, I mean, she's the boss of that. That's just information. And so I remember, I was like, man, that's a long time. We need.
There's this is so freaking off and wrong and evil and diabolical. This is just a contracted security guy, like on the surface. Like all of these concerns and everything he's talking about is so deep seated into his culpability and guilt. I mean, it's not even funny. Like this is so transparent because he's trying so hard to convince everyone. Remember, this is when the wheels on the bus really started to come off in November. Okay. I don't know when they cut this, but I mean, like, this is it. This is it.
To get this autopsy done and done right so that there's not some conspiracy. So, I mean, you're starting to think forward to that. And so I remember I was standing next to the chief of staff and the vice president called. And the vice president asked him, what do you need? And then he looked at me and said, what do we need? And I said, we need an autopsy now. So for these people that are saying there wasn't one done.
You know why they were so adamant about an autopsy being done now? Is because they had all of the high definition videos analyzed to the nth degree on September the 10th. They knew they were up shit. No, they weren't even up shit creek. I don't even know if there's a creek named bad enough of the creek they were up. And they knew it. And this is an insight into their thinking because they knew they were up shit creek. They knew it. They knew that there was a malfunction. And look, whether it was the necklace or the microphone, honestly, it don't matter. It came from underneath his shirt and it was not supposed to go up into his neck. Okay? I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Whether you're talking about the mic or the necklace, I mean, quite frankly, I consider them one and the same, that it originated from under his shirt and hit him in the neck and it wasn't supposed to. And they knew it. Because guess what? They already had in motion everything with the cover up or the patsy. They already had the rifle with the 30-06 ready to go. They had all of this stuff in place. Everything was jiving except for the wound. And so on the night of the 10th, given the fact that I think this guy right here squeezed the trigger to actually detonate it, it's super, super indicative of where their minds were because they knew they were in trouble. That's why we get Andrew Colvett coming out. We got Spine of Steel. I mean, literally, I can see them with the eyebrows guy and all of their, super, super psyop-y board of whoever, Turning Point USA, like literally all hands on deck, DEFCON bad, and they're now talking strategy on how and what are we going to do. And look, I believe they planned for these contingencies, and it's what I talked about earlier. You've got and look, social media, they know they've got the media. I don't know how they knew that, but they did. It's weird to me because it's a conservative outlet that needs to be looked at more, because there really was no anything. No, anytime the media just goes along with something, it warrants a level of skepticism. Okay. And it seemed that, well, let's face it, there's not been any. And that's what's bizarre to me, because we live, I mean, think back to Joe Biden's era. I mean, there were like drag parties and shit at the White House. And then all of a sudden, when Trump becomes president and we're pinning this on the LGBTQ plus I people, everybody just goes silent. That's weird. That's super weird. And maybe I just described the swamp. Maybe I just described that they went along with it because it's the swamp type of thing. I don't know. That's something that's interesting to me. I just kind of like walk through that. But regardless, they knew on the night of the 10th, they were up shit creek.
Go away. It was done. It was done. Do it for you. Yeah. Get the report when it comes out. It was done. It was done. Yeah. In the OR doc released statements regarding, and there has been statements regarding the bullet and the travel. Oh, there should have been a blowout, and I was like, there wasn't an exit wound. There wasn't one. I was checking for that in the ride. Yeah. And so people are like, yeah, it's completely impossible. And I was like, man, I've seen bullets do weirder things on people. And so all I know is what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't an exit wound. And so I know there was an autopsy done. One, because we requested it. They were there. And the second one was the local SO, and I believe it was the state police. They did the body transfer that night through the either Emmy's office or funeral home to the Emmy that night and took them there. So, yeah, for them to say that somebody broke the rules or Turning Point didn't follow the rules, that's lies. It's conjecture and it's lies. It's all that's people is wanting people to look at themselves. Yeah, it happened.
Do you think that the entry wound looked like an exit wound?
No, it was an entry wound.
Why do you say that?
So one, there wasn't an exit wound because I remember rolling his head over and cleaning it so I could see if there was an exit.
Sean Ryan knows right now he's full of shit, but Sean's a cuckold. But yeah, like that. No way.
And then I was having to open the wound up some to get more in packing. If you've ever done an exit wound, it's not that hard. It's a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can feel it when you know, the rule of kind of thumb on that one is you don't want to make it bigger, but you got to keep packing it in there. And so, yeah, I've heard and seen them all. Like there was a guy that said, you know, that the mic blew up and it was a bomb.
Yeah, I was going to wait. Yeah, there is a guy online that is saying that the microphone may have had some type of explosive projectile inside of it.
So it wrapped around the neck and created a hole.
That's the thing that I just couldn't wrap my head around either. Is it's some type of explosive projectile inside of it.
So it wrapped around the neck and created a hole.
Who has ever said anything about it wrapping around the neck? Like, that's insane. For him to suggest that, it's ridiculous because that's nowhere anywhere.
That's the thing that I just couldn't wrap my head around either, is the accuracy that would have to take place from an explosion to actually get you in the neck.
So what you just witnessed is really, really shitty interviewing skills, but also in the fact that they're operating under the pretense that everything went to plan perfect. And I'm telling you right now, there is no way that that was designed to do that. No way. Absolutely no. It was designed to be a chest wound, okay? And it just happened to, I mean, look, stranger things have happened. And it goes to show that there's no way you're gonna intend for this to hit here in the neck.
But then other people are saying that there was maybe that maybe the explosion killed him, and that in fact there's actually some camera footage that somebody has done some type of assessment on. But I mean, you cut his shirt off,
Right?
Did you see any burn marks?
So
Did you
that's
see
my-
any indication of any type of explosion?
Back it up even further to that. You've been around explosives and shaped explosives and stuff like that. It's like, what do you have?
Was that a Freudian slip? I mean, you've been around shaped, explosions. Yeah, it was a shaped charge. Yep.
When you have that.
Burn marks.
So
Did you
that's
see
my-
any indication of any type of explosion?
Back it up even further to that. You've been around explosives and shaped explosives and stuff like that. It's like, what do you have? When
He's
you
like,
have
oh,
that?
fuck.
They had that down
I'm not
to
supposed
like
to say that.
frames, right? Where was the flash?
Let's watch it again because it's like so ridiculous. Like he slips.
But I mean, you cut his shirt off.
Right.
Did you see any burn marks?
So
Did
that's
you see
my-
any indication of any type of explosion?
Back it up even further to that. You've been around explosives and shaped explosives and stuff like that. It's like, what do you have when you have that? They had that down to like frames, right? Where was the flash?
Mhm.
If that was an explosion, where was the flash?
Mhm.
You have oxygen exchange to create the explosion. Where was the flash?
Mhm.
Where was the char?
Mhm.
It didn't exist. So
Do you know
And for the record, even AI right
If
now, they haven't messed with it. You
his
can go
equipment
and they can
is
tell you
assessed
exactly
before
how
it's
this
put
shit's
on.
done.
yeah,
I've
it's
got it
actually
on
held
notes.
up there. That company that is a subcontracting company for them, they hold that all up there because, and they're is a contract.
if his equipment is assessed before it's put on?
Yeah, it's actually held up there. That company that is a subcontracting company for them, they hold that all up there because, and they're around it, almost guarding it because people will steal it.
Mhm.
And it's inside the non-permeable zone.
Okay.
So nobody has access to it. It's set up in there. Even the boxes are kept in there. And so it's inside that. And so it's on them. And then you can see they walk up and actually pin it on him. So that system is integritized also. And again, it's a reach.
integritized.
Go all the way back to where's the explosion? You got
Yeah.
frame by frame.
When that theory came out,
Look at that shit-eating grin because he knows.
Where's the explosion? You got
Yeah.
frame by frame.
when that theory came out, I don't think it's necessarily out of the question. I mean, we know about the pagers,
Absolutely.
but you know, I mean, the way I looked at it was he was wearing a loose fitting t-shirt that had I believe the road mic with the magnet, you know, strapped onto his shirt.
On the other side.
Yeah.
From
And
the
he's
wound.
moving around. And so that, you know, that microphone, if it was a projectile, it would have had to have been pointed at the exact same spot, which would have been impossible to do with a loose shirt.
Right.
You know, and so, and then there would have been an entry wound. It wouldn't have gone to the other side of the neck, you know, but and then, you know, there was it was a trigger man, you know, with a device to initiate the blast. But still though, I mean, to have him moving around like this in his shirt.
What a weird thing to say from Sean Ryan. What a weird thing to say. Let's listen to it again.
To initiate the blast. But still though, I mean, to have him moving around like this in his shirt, his loose shirt, to have a piece of weight while he's moving around. I mean, you could not.
Probability.
It would be a coincidence for it to actually happen the way that it did.
Yeah.
It would be a coincidence. It would not be. I don't think you
And for the record, nothing's moving around. That's what the fucking magnet's for.
could chalk that up to skill, unless the explosion is what killed him. But what you're saying, no flash, no blast,
No char.
would have been an entry wound. It wouldn't have gone to the other side of the neck, you know. But and then, you know, there was it was a trigger man, you know, with a device to initiate the blast. But still though.
Did you see what Sean Ryan just did? Like, I mean, that's literally exactly what Brian did. And they're literally laughing it off when it's actually what actually fucking happened.
I mean, to have him moving around like this in his shirt, his loose shirt, to have a piece of weight while he's moving around. I mean, you could not.
Probability.
It would be a coincidence for it to actually happen the way that it did.
Yeah.
It would be a coincidence. It would not be. I don't think you could chalk that up to skill, unless the explosion is what killed him. But what you're saying, no flash, no blast,
No char.
no burn marks, no.
And
nothing.
that's a real
You
time.
cut the shirt off, you would have seen it.
Yeah, that's a real time see too. You know, you've seen explosions.
I've seen a lot of explosions.
And so you have those attributions. Where's the attribution to the explosion inside those frames? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Don't try to make something into nothing. Right. And so I'm not saying that we shouldn't look at things by all means.
Yeah.
We should. I mean, we look at people and press and in history of the United States, how valuable they've been. And I applaud these guys that are out there humping and working to want to have the truth. But don't say you're searching for the truth when you're lying to
Gunshot to neck.
And that's what's happening. Because you're not searching for the truth. You're searching for clicks.
I think that the people posting these, I don't know. You know, I mean, I have mixed feelings. I think some people are legitimately just trying to figure it out. I think that there are other people that are very obviously making a living off of sensationalizing this.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think we live in a time where people.
Okay, so all in all, the SUV, without a doubt, is secured as it's driving off. There's no reason for the doors to be reopened. And what I believe happened is Brian Harpole knew that there were multiple reports of someone hanging out the vehicle. He knows this because he's listened to all of the scanners. Okay, he knows what was reported. He possibly knows that there's video. What he describes to Sean Ryan is a desperate attempt to make sense of someone hanging out the vehicle. The only problem is What he describes is absolutely impossible with him hanging out, somehow being held in. I'm telling y'all right now, I genuinely believe that Charlie Kirk regained consciousness inside of that vehicle and was trying to get the fuck out of the vehicle because he knew that they were trying to kill him. Unfortunately, this is March the 13th, Friday the 13th. And this happened well over 6 months ago. I doubt there are any businesses along the route that have video still. I'd venture to say 0% chance. It would just be an incredibly large amount of data stored. So here's my question. Did any of these possible units, PD units, have dash cam rolling? I'm sure they were going cherries and berries to the scene. And I always go into a mode of how could we prove it? And maybe a dash cam caught the SUV going in the opposite direction, possibly. This was relatively early where you've got someone hanging out. Like, that is such a wild description, right? Because let's pretend we didn't know that the SUV was secured. They would not be driving, what did he say, 70, 80, 90? He might have even said 100. They're not going to, number one, the door at that kind of speed isn't going to stay open anyways. Like, you have to have some significant force opposing just the wind resistance. What he's describing is someone, or what is being reported is like the vehicle at slower speeds, the door open, and someone hanging out. Brian describes it as Charlie's foot was in the door. Therefore, the door couldn't shut, which led him to somehow have to be magically hanging out the door. I have thought on this for a very long time, and I'm telling y'all, I've said it before, but I have not had the video to show that the door was shut. And like, I'm going pretty much all in on it now. I was weirded out by his Brian's level of persistence back in November when this interview came out. I am almost dead certain that the reason that he knows, and he is so arrogant about the fact of the autopsy showing the bullet, that he's so arrogant in the fact that he has the balls to say that his guys, their lives have been destroyed because the ME didn't release the autopsy in time somehow, where it's like Brian wanted this autopsy to be released so freaking bad because he felt like it was going to be his ultimate scapegoat into the fact of, or for the fact of what he squeezed under his arm, under his shirt here to detonate the device. Like the autopsy was going to be his like saving grace type of thing. And you can tell by the tone he takes with Sean, like he takes it personal that the autopsy was not released. And just the fact that that was so important on his mind the night of the 10th or the afternoon of the 10th, it speaks volumes, y'all. Just think on it with everything that, with all of this stuff. Like, if you just think on it and play it out in your head, you're like, holy shit. Holy shit. Charlie was trying to get out of the vehicle. He regained consciousness and they were pulling him in. Can you imagine? My heart absolutely breaks for Charlie. Like, this is fucking evil. Evil. Every last one of these sons of bitches need to rot their fucking ass in prison for what they did. This is evil. All right. I don't want to talk about Candace anymore. Oh, this is interesting. Let's show this. Chrissy, mint woman is, I mean, she's a hell of a woman. I mean, she's basically a fullback. I'd run her at fullback. I'd love to be the tailback. I mean, can you imagine her blocking down on a linebacker and you just, I mean, all you got to do is beat the safety now? Look at her go into Charles. I've seen Charles take a little bit of heat and stuff, like he was there. I mean, at the end of the day, there's not a single thing. Charles has been absolutely wonderful. He's been able to, well, I mean, if you're a squibber, you don't like Charles. Why do you not like Charles? Because Charles took too good of photographs, or Charles edited the photographs. No, squibber. You're just crazy. Okay? I don't think he was. I mean, Chrissy, old fullback, like, she went in hard to block him to where he couldn't get a video or a photograph. And notice we've got, what's his name? Dadgummit. I mean, he walks right by videoing her. So she's not worried about people. I mean, I know Charles is shooting towards the vehicle, but I don't buy it with Charles. I think I think he did great work that day. I really do. Okay, let's see here. I think I'm about to end this stream, and then we're going to take it to X. Okay. Let's just run through this right quick. Okay. This frame right here now, I understand that we're watching a FaceTime recording from a screen. There's no doubt that the 4K video, and I'm just like, I'm trying to slip into Terrell's mindset back on September the 19th. Like, Terrell knows what they did. If you're Terrell and you know that you're all over a live stream called Life is Driving, like flat out committing multiple felonies, like literally being the first thing that has sparked this. I mean, that was like one of the main firsts that we're looking at is who in the hell is this guy stealing the SD cards or taking the SD cards, looking suspect, looking around. I mean, just looking like a cheese ball, because he knows he's doing something wrong. Like, who is this? Why is he doing it? But if you're Terrell, why in the hell do you play this to Candace Owens? So I have always thought, and on the UVU review video, it looks like it comes out. And it could just be that the frame rate is off here and we're not getting a true depiction. And also because of how the video was released to us from Candace. But this is very more localized in here than what I had originally thought. I was thinking it was outside of, I was thinking more along where like your clavicle meets up with your, would be your humerus. But this is very much here, okay? And quite frankly, this is the most damning in the sense of the necklace is the thing doing the craziest moves right off the bat. And so I have been I've been back and forth 50-50. Is it the necklace? Is it the microphone? Is it the necklace? Is it the microphone? If it is the necklace and it's supposed to just do some sort of shape charge into his chest, but somehow, you know, because it's, I mean, we're talking about something that DOD can only get their hands on. If it takes off and it's constrained by the shirt, if it's being held in by the shirt and then it unloads so quickly, I believe what really, really happened because of this frame right here. I'm telling y'all what, I genuinely think that this was probably about an inch or two. If it's the pendant that took off, because that's what snaps the necklace. If the pendant is what did it, it damn near came out of his shirt. And can you imagine what that would have done? If it's supposed to just take off and come into his chest, that's the original. I'm sure they tested it maybe 2 or 3 times with other necklaces or microphones, and it probably behaved similarly. You're not going to get the same result every time. But let's just humor the necklace part here. If it is the necklace and it was supposed to just go here and here, chest wound, no one looks at it ever again. We got blood. He's boom, back, gets tackled. It's done. Like we're all talking about Epstein and not this, right? But because of the anomaly and the fact that probably literally an inch or 2 inches is what separated, because you can see on the UVU reviews video, as it takes off, this frame, it looks like on the UVUs a lot further out, but it's more centralized. And this has kind of hit me when I'm watching this, is that the fact that it's very much right here in like where I would call it like interclavicle on each side where it's happening, that it's not out here. And quite frankly, on one of my frames, you can see a bubble here, and then you see another gaseous or vibration look, and it is the bubble dumping into his neck. You can see that. You can see it literally unload into his neck. And it's just wild to me to think that there was literally something so close. If it was right here by the collar, it was so close to literally exploding out of his shirt. And I mean, who knows what would have happened? Can you imagine if it would have hit Mikey right here? I mean, Mikey and Blake are right here. It's just crazy. And I've said it all along. I mean, you cannot operate under the pretense that this was everything this was gone to plan. No, this was the opposite of gone to plan. This is why they came out so strong in the beginning. So anyways, I genuinely hope that enough people can begin to join forces with us, whoever the collective us are. Because look, I know I give the squibbers a hard time, and that's fine, okay? Because guess what? We're talking 6 degrees of separation between them and this, because both of our theories require a detonation under the shirt. Theirs is just, I don't know what their end game is, or if it's this truly last ditch effort by a collective bigger presence in the fact that, let's just call it the monster. The monster knows it's cooked. The monster is who ordered this, okay? And the monster knows that, oh God, like we've lost the initiative. So what do? Well, you go in with like an Epstein style death theory. Maybe he's dead, maybe he's not, maybe he's dead, maybe he's not. You get people so numb to the fact. You start to basically start cultivating this argument that Charlie wasn't as good of a guy as he really actually was. You start this negative campaign on a dead man to desensitize people to the fact that, hey, he was actually a bad guy anyways. And then you throw a Hail Mary with this squib that just somehow appears or is planted in the neck somehow. Like this is where the tooth fairy comes in, okay? Because it's all fake and gay. That this is what they'll never be able to prove. But here's where the fake death people, this is their ultimate goal, is it literally desensitizes people to the fact that maybe he is, maybe he isn't. They lose the zest for wanting to find out what happened because there's so many people that are on board with this fake death that, I mean, we're going to see a Charlie Kirk appearance driving down a Florida interstate, within a few months, probably this summer, right? That was a story today on X. I've seen all of the usuals regurgitate it after consuming someone else's video of it. And basically, like, that's where we are. And no one really ever, it stays out in la la land, in fake and gay land of it's a squib under his neck. And that's how it lives forever. That maybe Charlie's dead, maybe he's alive. But guess what? Everyone who is involved in this gets off the hook. And that's what they're planning on. So that's where, if we're talking strategy, and I'll tell this right here, that when we're talking strategy on trying to get as many people on board right now, I will welcome the fake death people all day long, because their theory with this theory needs to line up to get people on board, to show that Tyler Robinson or whoever it was on the roof did not take a shot from the roof. Okay. And when that ship has sailed or come home and the investigation's opened back up, then we can start drawing lines in the sand. Okay. But I mean, if Jordan Henshaw wants to go and spend lots of money on, creating the same movement of a shirt, that's fine. I mean, the dude's like, that's great. The problem is going to be the neck. Okay. The neck. And there are actual real Hollywood professionals, like true people that work in production, that are ready to begin to start talking, and it's going to be exciting because they're going to basically they're going to set these people I think straight whenever they start describing some stuff, because so far it's just been a lot of tooth fairy talk. Okay, let me just run through. Okay, here is another picture of our fullback. This guy was, I guess he's not one of the brothers, because he just, I think, has got a Marine Corps tattoo. So I guess he hasn't done the elephant walk yet down there at Consolidated, but there's Chrissy. I mean, I wouldn't try to go up to George with her right there. She gonna get you. All right, we're not gonna play that one. Oh, actually, we will play this one because this is my favorite one. This is called "Oh Shit." Oh shit, coach. There's not a more authentic and real, just raw outward sign than this right here. This is I'm going to hell. I sold my soul to the devil. This is what that is. Hand on the forehead. Oh my God, I should have taken the job at the bank. Chrissy is stressed. I'm looking for one in particular. I'm going to blow this up for Zach. I know Zach, he wants this look right here. Wolves and finance guy. Like, I'm going to get him this as a poster right here. Get some lasers put on the frames, like where he's kind of like a Sam Parker laser. You know, Sam's got lasers coming out of his eyes. I'm going to get lasers right here for Zach. Okay, here it is. The bag. Okay, this is the bag that was given to her from when the SUV stops. It pulls forward, it stops. Chrissy's handed this bag. How do I know that? Well, I know it from this video here. We'll come back to old Jason Behunin, okay? Because I think Jason is running some youngsters. I think Jason is, I can't prove it yet. I think there's a tie between Jason Behunin and Tyler Robinson. Okay, as you can see right here, here is the refinance Batman, okay? They are slamming the door, or they're about to. He slams it. They're shutting the back. And see right here, here's the fullback. She doesn't have a bag with her. You see any feet in the door? I don't. I'm telling you, there's no reason for him to make up or say that story to Sean Ryan other than the fact that he's having to cover for someone trying to get out of the vehicle. Like, it's plain as day to me. There's dipshit up there. All right, look right here. There it is. So just a few moments ago, the fullback didn't have anything. Now she does. You know what? We're going to call her lunchbox. The lunchbox. So the lunchbox did not have anything. Now she does. She's got that big ass duffel bag. It's nothing really other than the fact of, I know now where it came from, and I know that they stopped and had to, they wanted it out. Do I think there's anything nefarious with that bag? No, I don't think they had any room. And so they needed her to get it. Okay. But this accounts for why the SUV stopped the way it did. And then she gets back to doing her directing of stuff. Okay. And then I still don't know what this is, but then the lunchbox, like she changes, and I don't know why. Because everybody else, I mean, did she want to get a tan while she's out doing? I don't know. That's always been weird to me. Like, why are you trying to change? But maybe she was sweaty. Maybe she was sweaty. Could be. It's just strange. Like, why would you get out of your, why would you change? I don't know. I think, okay, I know what I was going to do. So let's go with the theory on what I believe is up with, is it here? Right here. Okay, this little dude right here with the bucket hat. This little dude right here is the little dude that Jason Behunin points to and tells to start looking for stuff at the moment that Jason Behunin comes back up to the front of the tent to start picking things up. Okay? And this has always been weird to me. I mean, because here he is making sure he gets a shot of George Zinn. But then, where's my George Zinn video? Or not George Zinn, my Jason Behunin video right here. But here he is. So watch this. Okay, so what are we looking at right now? And I probably need to make my. Hang on, I'm going to make my cursor bigger. Accessibility, display. Okay. All right, so what are we looking at? Here's the bucket hat kid. Okay, he comes running in after. Here is the dude I just told you about, the op. Okay, Behunin walks up and points to the kid. He's talking to him. And he's pointing where to look. He's saying this. This is where, right here is Lightning McQueen dad. This is the guy who has George Zinn in cuffs. Come on. Hang on just a second. It like froze on me. They're looking and they're talking to each other. They're communicating. So this is where Jason was.
And talk about what they saw, how they have been coping, and what that incident taught them about America today.
People were running everywhere shouting. There was a
Four strangers forever linked by a single moment they can't unsee at Charlie Kirk.
Everyone's ducking, and this guy is standing straight up, like, I mean, head on a swivel, looking at, like, let's watch it again. Like, this just, I mean, it.
America today.
People were running everywhere shouting. There was a
Four strangers forever linked by a single moment they can't unsee at Charlie Kirk's Prove Me Wrong tour. Jason Behunin, Christian Overton, Kurt Lichty, and 15-year-old Carter Lloyd all stood somewhere in the crowd on September 10th. Jason is in the red hat in this picture, just off to Charlie's right.
Hunter Kozak, y'all. Hunter Kozak talks to Jason Behunin. Watch it.
Picture just off to
Hunter Kozak is right here. Hunter Kozak says something to him, and Jason turns and points. Watch.
Charlie's right.
When I was coming into UVU, I hadn't been following Charlie Kirk
He
very
pointed.
much at all, except for the last.
This is a little bit of a
I was coming
compressed
into
version, but
UVU.
you can tell
I
Hunter
hadn't been
talks to
following
him.
Charlie Kirk very much at all, except for the last few months. I didn't really know much about Turning Point or anything like that. I was like, oh, he still has tickets. I checked online and went to UVU, got the ticket, or went to Turning Point, got the tickets to come in, and came in about 45 minutes early and worked my way all the way down into the front row. I didn't know what to think. I actually kind of just went numb at the point. I didn't know what was going on. Just everybody started yelling and screaming. I was numb. I was very confused, very, very confused. I didn't know what had happened. I had heard shots before, but it just didn't seem like this was the place that something like that would happen. Kind of buried it down. I'm still processing it. I've not ever got over it. It's probably something I will never get over. I think about the event every time I drive by UVU. I try not to look at the old pictures that I have on my phone of the videos of that day and stuff like that. And I went home and I just kind of buried it down. I never really talked about it to anybody except for Christian here and my wife, and that was it. I can't look at UVU anymore. It's hard to look at UVU as you're driving down because I witnessed something that was tragic.
There's our bucket hat guy. So he just got through being freelance photographer.
It's hard to think about it. I used to work for Department of Corrections, so I worked death row, and I've seen these people, and I've seen people that have been sentenced to death. And what bugs me the most is that they get convicted and sentenced to a death penalty, and then
here's our guy right here, the op that was over there on the wall. No emotion, no clapping for a hat. He's now over here with another guy with a big ruck, and they are looking for stuff in the grass.
years they sit, and most of them just, until last year, I believe, they just expire on, of natural causes before they see the penalty. We could all heal from this and come together, and for the greater good, for the United States to move forward. I just think we should all get behind one another and keep moving forward.
For someone that was not there that day, you were there that day. What do you think? What do you tell that person that wasn't there?
For somebody who was there, life is fragile. It's a meaningless assassination that happened, unfortunately. But we should still have those open debates. It doesn't matter if it's politics or about school or whatever, but have open debates. If you have a friend who's a liberal or a Republican or whatever, who cares? Have that open discussion with them. See what their thoughts are. If they don't agree with you, move on and go fishing. Who cares?
If you're being honest, did you feel that way before September 10th?
Oh, yes and no. I really don't.
So here's Butch, and we have got an ID on this person, I believe. That is going to be exciting, hopefully this coming week, to have
Care
confirmed.
what's going on in the world right now, except in my little bubble. And my wife, my family and stuff, I don't care what's going on. But this has opened my eyes to, there's a lot more going on than what I actually see. And so it's kind of opened my eyes to what's going on in the world right now. Unfortunately, we can't have that debate without, a threat of violence coming from somewhere. And I'm kind of hoping that we can move on and heal from this and have that open discussion in front of people without the fear of violence of some sort. It shouldn't matter. We all are human. We all have our interests in life. We all strive for certain things and goals that are special to us as an individual. And why does that make him a little bit different? Because he sees the world a little bit different than me.
Oh, Butch is like, I'm getting the hell out of the
I
camera
think we should
way.
all
I don't
just
need to be on the damn
move on.
Those
videos.
who were there, September 10th will always be the day a debate turned into a crime scene and a reminder for them.
This might be the second. I don't know. These two clowns might be the first, honestly. If you have kids, not even kids, there is not a more perfect or picture perfect body language that shows we fucked up or, oh my God, like what the fuck, than what they're doing. Watch them. Watch Philip and Terrell.
I think we should all just come together and move on.
Those who were there, September 10th will always be the day a debate
Act
turned into a
natural,
crime
act natural,
scene
act
and a
natural,
reminder for them of how quickly
natural.
conversation
Hey,
turned
you think
into
it's gonna rain
violence.
today?
They all saw the exact same thing, but are processing it very, very differently. As they walked away from this, the event changed them, but they also say they agree on one thing. They still believe in the power of conversation. I'm Jim Spiewak. Thank you for watching this YouTuber.
That's Jason Behunin talking to Blake Harf. They know each other. I don't know if this is the big boy in black. I don't know if this is him. I believe genuinely that there's more, like that the sprinter had more to do with it as far as having a little bit more weight or possibly being used for communication, live streaming back to the, I don't know if that's ever been confirmed, but back to Arizona. I know it's been talked about. That the dude that was messing with the speakers went somewhere, and he's big enough. We should be able to find him, and he ain't nowhere in the crowd. He was somewhere with the AC blowing. I can promise you that. So was he in the van? Where was he? I don't know. I know that camera is going to show it. So, anywho, what do I think is up with Jason? I think Jason was like running a little team of cleanup and other people like running around there. I don't know. Jason has these young people. I mean, there's no reason. You just heard him talk about.
Saw how they have been coping and what that incident taught them about America today.
Listen again. Just
People were running everywhere shouting.
how did you get
Four
there, Jason?
strangers forever linked by a single moment they can't unsee at Charlie Kirk's Prove Me Wrong tour. Jason Behunin, Christian Overton, Kurt Lichty, and 15-year-old Carter Lloyd all stood somewhere in the crowd on September 10th. Jason is in the red hat in this picture, just off to Charlie's right.
When I was coming into UVU, I hadn't been following Charlie Kirk very much at all, except for the last few months. I didn't really know much about Turning Point or anything like that. I was like, oh, he still has tickets. I checked online and went to UVU.
Yeah, and Jason looks like, the typical, I'm just going to stumble on Charlie Kirk kind of guy. Ex-CO, Department of Corrections, working death row. And you know what? I think I'm going to connect with the young people.
Got the ticket, or went to Turning Point, got the tickets to come in, and came in about 45 minutes early and worked my way all the way down into the front row. I didn't know what to think. I actually kind of just went numb at the point. I didn't know what was going on.
He's there with these kids. I don't know who they are. I know they're picking stuff up. He's picking stuff up. I know he's communicating with the security team. So, it is what it is. Okay. Dude's involved. Okay. I believe this is the other thing that doesn't make sense. I'm trying to picture this because this is the inside. The way that I vision it, and we've got the mat here, is Charlie's head would have been here on this area. And quite frankly, I believe what happened was his pelvis, the way they had him more than likely, was down in a V shape. So he's I think I could see him, they pull him in, his body will sink because we got captain's chairs in the back. And so as they're pulling him in, I think the feet, yeah, he's still probably going to be long, but they're going to have him pulled, his knees pulled up. So you're going to be able to shut the door. Okay. All of this being said, I genuinely believe that Charlie was fighting for his life in there. I genuinely believe it, because there is absolutely no reason that we would be getting 3 different radio calls, people reporting someone hanging out of the vehicle. Okay. And look, if you've got Brian, the other guy was in there in the front seat. You've got Dan there. Dan's driving, I believe he said. You're going to have 4 grown men with hands on Charlie. When you're fighting for your life, I could see him to get the door open, but they're not going to let him out. They're going to have hands on him, and he's not going anywhere. So, I don't know. It's just dark. It's deep. It's dark. And I would love if someone could find video. If we could find some dash cam video of it, surely there's someone that was with the amount of presence that was going to the call that day, surely someone's got it on video. All we need to do is see like a white shirt trying to come out of the vehicle. I mean, and I think it's pretty evident at that point. Man, that would be incredible. But unfortunately, I literally have zero faith in the state of Utah criminal justice system, law enforcement. I think it's corrupt as fuck. And I don't think we're going to get anywhere. They're all looking out for one another. Okay, what are we going to do? We are going to end this. I'm going to start another stream, and we're just going to be real quick. I'm going to run through the belly on Charlie, but I'm not doing it on YouTube. So head over to my X page, and we'll go live there. Let me get to these super chats. Respiratory therapist here. Thank you very much for the super chat. If the quarter posturing was legit from a brain injury, it is extremely unlikely to almost impossible to regain consciousness, let alone be aware enough to fight back. So the dots you're connecting would be the quarter posturing, the cortic posturing, and stemming it to a brain injury. I do not believe he had a brain injury whatsoever. I do not. I have been tased. I will even do it again because we still have the taser and show like exactly. I can't even fake this. Like I literally did. I just wished I would have had it on video. I did the same thing. Now I'm not saying there's just something there to an element of that position. And I can just say that if that's what it is, if this is the cord, I can't say that word. Okay. That word posturing, then I did it too, but I didn't have brain injury. I mean, I was being like, I seized up like here. So I just don't see this here. And look, yeah, you're a respiratory therapist, medical professional, like come over and watch. I mean, I do not think that this was a fatal wound. I think it literally, I mean, it created a hole in his neck. But I think what really did the most damage was whatever like had him go down. That's why, look, y'all, we're pretending that we're not pretending. It kind of feels like it sometimes that we think that he was there from the moment of the bang for like minutes, and we're all kind of watching him for minutes, and it's like it's not making sense. I'm talking like 3 seconds ground, everyone dog piles, 5 more seconds pass, they're starting to get around to pick him up. They're literally walking within another 5 seconds around. I mean, like it's happening so fast that I am not just totally convinced that there was this brain injury, spinal injury. I'm just not. I believe he was rendered incapacitated, unconscious. And look, I believe that that's why they had to get him out of there so fast, is because they could not risk. Can you imagine if he starts to move? I mean, like, I can only imagine if something like, I know people have said like he was bracing, and he wasn't. Like, it happened so fast with the slowed down videos, it appears that he's bracing, but he's not. I mean, you can isolate his movements throughout that entire clip, and he does the same thing. He'll look down, he'll blink. People are saying he signaled with his nose. That's what Jesse on Fire says. He signaled with his nose, and he started his own countdown. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You know how many times he touches his face that day? 6. Like within 10 minutes, he touched his face 6 times. Like it's the context. Okay. Like he didn't start a countdown. It's just downright wrong. Okay. So I just do not, this has always been, and I wouldn't be so convinced if I didn't do the same thing. I mean, like it's hard. If you've ever been tased, I might do that. I think that that might be a good video. I just don't want to do it, but that might be a good video. But I appreciate the support. Charles, thank you. I'm just getting started in everything YouTube. And so I'm going to have members only stuff, but at some point, but just know I genuinely appreciate the support. Jed, the explosive malfunctioned, in my opinion. Why he woke up and started fighting in the SUV. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Like, I think it's fair to say that there wasn't I do not think that it went to plan by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't. Hey, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Are you going to post your earlier YouTube live? Yes, I'm going to. It's not going to be in the lives, but I actually still have it on X too. So yeah, it will go back and I will have it on the videos. It'll be in the video section here momentarily. So everyone, thanks for tuning in. Jump over to X and we'll run through that real quick and then we'll call it a night. As always, appreciate it. And I'll see you in a second.